Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, July 10th. We're looking at Window Traders market profile of the ES and NQ. So, cue up the champagne as the S&P, ES, SPY, and the SPX with all-time highs. However, just like NQ yesterday, I said I was going to still call it balance because they just stretched the all-time high. Same with the ES today. For me, they just stretched the all-time high. Now NQ, again, here was your all-time high, and they stretched it. If you called it up, regardless, we took out yesterday's low today, so it is balance. So, again, we're in balance in the NASDAQ and on the S&P on the daily. The monthly and weeklies are still very healthy. Now, righty, different story. Righty exploded. Remember yesterday I said, not sure if I would call it up or not either. But they went out with a price probe. I'm like, maybe I would. But regardless of whether I did or not, today certainly proved it. As they go out with a double distribution day, and they're up on all three time frames. Now, keep in mind, they're also still pretty far away from their all-time high. However, they've definitely made some inroads to that. This is kind of the second time now, once last week, once this week, where ES and NQ have had a big disconnect. And when that happens, you notice, righty's the one that benefits. So last week on that one day, and again today, money flowed into the Russell and came out of the tech. It's not often you see this, but if righty's going to continue to make moves towards their all-time high, that's potentially we could see it more often than we have in the past. And by that I mean ES went out with a trend day up, totally higher value, and the Bulls won handily 6-0 on our score sheet. NQ, on the other hand, got both overnights and barely eked out a 3-2 win for the Bulls. Their value finally went overlapping a higher late. And finally, the Bulls. But look at the difference. ES above the opening since C. NQ below the opening since A. So there was a big disconnect. And NQ struggled and could never take out their all-time high. And that's why, believe it or not, in the afternoon, I actually took 2 trades in ES because NQ, to me, was really not doing much. Much better day than yesterday. Got back a little over 20% of what I lost. It's going to take some time, and just try to chip away. If I can get it back in a week or so, that I'd be happy with that. So, believe it or not, I did take the front run trade again today, but this time I got paid on the short, as they did front run it, but by the time I got out of my short, it went right back up, and I was not quick enough to get the overnight high. But since they had higher value at the time, and they had the overnight high, I took 2 more longs in A period. One was against the 144 when it pulled back, and one was against value high, and they both paid. However, things changed, and it started really pushing hard, and I jumped in very nicely on a short to get the overnight low. So it's very rare, but NQ got both overnights in one time frame. That one I nailed for about 50 points. So it was a very good A period. I then took the short to get A's low in B period. That was a nice trade. After that, though, NQ really died. I took a long in C period in ES to get yesterday's high. That worked out. I took a short in NQ in D period against the 144 the first time it got up there, and that worked out. Now, I had a nice trade in F. Didn't hold on to it too long, but we pretty much got the afternoon pullback pretty nicely in F period in NQ. And then my last trade of the day was in ES when I made 6 points to get the all-time high. After that, it just really did not do much. We finally shook out some weak longs. It was a triple distribution day. It ended up a double. But NQ was really doing nothing, so I had no interest in it. So again, one day at a time, back up on the saddle. And then let's go to the charts. Again, tomorrow we'll recap all of these indices charts like we always do. So here's ES. Yeah, we made an all-time high, but not by a lot. It was a $9 balance. Took it out by 50, 60 cents. So all I want them to do tomorrow is take out today's high. If we do that, we'll call them up. Otherwise, it's still a 5-day balance. The other thing, NQ, whether you called it up or not, like I said yesterday, I had called it balance because I still figured we just stretched it, but today certainly put it back into balance by taking out yesterday's low. So it's a 5-day balance in NQ. Very light volume today. 33 million right now, 12 million on the average in NQ, and in ES or SPY, 55 million, 14 million below average. That's a little concerning finally. And again, I would call, I'm encompassing this low, I believe. So for SPY and ES, it's a 6-day balance. I hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.